Some urban legends didn't originate as stories to scare children. They emerged from real events, from deaths, from violence, and from collective fear. Over time, they were repeated, distorted, until they became part of American culture. But behind these legends, there is something far more disturbing: its macabre origin. Today, you will hear 3 urban legends from the United States which did not begin as simple children's stories, and that there's a much darker and more intriguing side to it. The legend of Bloody Mary is known as a simple mirror ritual, saying the name a few times in the dark and wait for something to appear. But this story didn't start as a game. Similar accounts have existed in the United States since the 19th century, linked to occult practices, divination sessions, and forbidden rituals involving mirrors, objects historically associated with the idea of portals. The mirror was not seen as something neutral. It was considered a boundary between the physical world and something that observes back. Over time, stories began to circulate about women being violently killed, associated with bloodbaths, religious persecution, and public punishments. The name Bloody Mary came to represent not one specific person, but the idea of something that responds when called. The most disturbing aspect of the legend is not the apparition, but the real psychological effect. There are reports of panic attacks, fainting, and dissociative episodes following attempts at the ritual. People are reporting seeing faces they don't recognize, hearing whispers that continue even after leaving the bathroom, and being literally disturbed after playing such a prank. The legend survives because it doesn't require belief, and because we all have a mirror at our disposal. The practice of this ritual becomes much more accessible to anyone who is curious enough to try it. In early 19th century Tennessee, a family experienced something that doesn't fit into either mass hallucination or typical religious hysteria. The Bell family reported the presence of an invisible entity that spoke, physically assaulted people, and demonstrated self-awareness. He wasn't hiding. It didn't need to be invoked. The entity became known as the Bell Witch. Historical accounts describe nighttime attacks, tug-of-war, marks on the body, and voices insulting residents by name. The terror wasn't in the noises, but in the intelligence behind them. The situation became even more grim when the family patriarch died, under circumstances considered inexplicable at the time. According to witnesses, the organization has taken responsibility for the death. What makes this legend unique is that it did not originate from oral folklore. She was registered, writing, documented by neighbors, religious leaders, and local authorities. To this day, the area remains associated with reports of voices, a feeling of being persecuted, and a constant presence. Not as a souvenir, but like something that never went away. Amityville didn't start out as a ghost story. It began with a real massacre. A family was murdered inside their own home while they slept. The crime shocked the country, but what came next was even more unsettling. The family that moved into the house after the crime reported immediate changes in behavior, unprovoked aggression, a constant feeling of being watched. They weren't just talking about shadows or noises. They spoke of thoughts they did not recognize as their own. Paranormal investigators documented the case as a possible demonic infestation, not linked to the walls, but to the people. The house became famous. It was sold. It changed owners. But the pattern repeated itself. Nobody stayed for very long. Amityville became a symbol of a disturbing idea. Some places don't need to be scary. They only have an influence until something inside the person gives way. These legends didn't survive because they are good stories. They survived because they were born from something too real to be ignored. They changed shape. New details have been added, but they never lost their essence. Because some stories aren't meant to scare you. They want to warn, and sometimes the real terror. It's not what it seems. That's what he answers when he's called.